Hello everyone, welcome back to GGN. This is part 2 for this news report today. It's Monday, 2013. I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.com, and on YouTube my channels are ddarko2012 and ddarko2013. Okay, so I'm going to continue here. Patriotic students accused of racism for chanting U.S.A. This story is from the 13th, but it's still kind of interesting. I don't think I caught it when it came out. So it goes on here and it says that these students were reprimanded for wearing American flag bandanas and chanting USA, USA at a school basketball game. They were reportedly suspended, and while the punishment was rescinded, school officials said the incident is far from over. So it says here the principal is worried that the chanting might have racist undertones due to the Southern California school's large Hispanic population. So it goes on here and says the Union School District Superintendent said we need to pursue this further and work with teachers and students and the community about the concept of cultural proficiency. So how about this for cultural proficiency? It's the freaking United States of America. Teach the students, especially those that may come from immigrant backgrounds, that this country rocks and that they should take some pride in it. This is not me, this is their author, but still. Kids participating in school, sport, and taking pride in their country are not teenagers we need to worry about. So this is not only political correctness gone too far, it cheapens and degrades the term racism. Then there's this article, high-achieving homeschooler suffers bullying by other kids. So, yeah, you know, like people said in the comment board, you know, how do people actually know how high she scored and a high IQ and stuff like that, and she may sound or come off as kind of pompous. But for whatever it's worth, you know, it seems like an article, kind of like a PSYOP type article, where like in many cases, you'll have these extreme ends that are, quote, representing this this growing minority or this movement, such as homeschooling, and other issues as well. And they can come off kind of radical to people who are in the middle or who aren't really aware of this stuff. So then they're like, oh, well, I don't want to associate myself with that. And they never really look into the matter anymore because they think that it represents everything. So I think that's part of a psychological it's operation, or it's like a technique to represent this opposition and then make it real extreme to scare people. So it would fall under the Department of Engineered Consent. So it says here that on a rare occasion that she'd mingle with children her own age, they called her unpleasant names, did pranks and stuff, and tortured me. I had to change my emergency cell phone number, because there were so many immature and insulting prank calls. She said, I hate it. I can't help that I'm smart, and I refuse to degrade myself by dumbing down my actions and speech because I can't handle their insecurities. So that's the thing. I think most of the people are aware that, if you were in a classroom like that, you don't want to seem too smart. It's weird that being smart is actually not cool. But they start turning it into a bullying thing and an anti-bullying campaign, which leads me to this, right? Because we just covered an article about that one kid that killed himself. He was, what was he, like 10 years old, 11 years old, because he was white. He was being harassed by these Asian kids. It says, kid bullied to leave school because he wasn't black enough. From the 31st of January, the student stabbed Ryan in the back with a mechanical pencil and walked away. No explanation of words exchanged, but it says Ryan knew why it happened. He says scared to tell the teacher all Ryan could do was to go to the bathroom to wash off the blood. So he said it was all because of his skin, says his mom, Gail Rodriguez. He was often the only light-skinned student in his class which were predominantly black. Ryan, who is half white and half Puerto Rican, was called names like stupid white cracker. It's interesting, too, because there was a kid that was bullied. He was punched in the face, his nose was broke, and he was in a coma. And apparently he died. That's the news today. I tried reading the articles, and unlike every other article where they tell you what the race is, they're not saying what it is or what actually transpired with this white student, whether it was bullying or whether it was just a fight. But they're calling it bullying, but they're not saying why he was bullied. Who was he bullied by? Was he bullied because he was a transgender, or he was gay, or I don't know, all the crazy issues today. Massachusetts school sends kids home with letters saying they're too fat. So the same a-holes that keep talking about tolerance and equality and keep pushing these bullying, anti-bullying campaigns are actually bullying students. So they're sending students home with letters to their parents, but the letters don't have anything to do with grades or behavior. They have to do with weight. It's part of a new government initiative to tell parents when their child's BMI or body mass index is high and give them instructions on how to deal with issues. Texting while walking, we have Nevada assemblyman moves to ban it. So this happened in New Jersey. Texting while walking banned in New Jersey town. So they began issuing $85 jaywalking tickets to pedestrians who are caught texting while walking. So if people do want to walk, you see those videos of, I think it was both were females walking into, like, one was a river and the other was in a mall and a water fountain. If they want to do that, I guess that's their own prerogative, as long as they're not putting other people at risk. But this is a bigger agenda. I've covered this before about banning texting while driving. And what did I say? I said that it has to do with communicating with other people, whether it's activism, whether it's militias, whatever. I mean, of course, that's pretty extreme by that. But what I'm saying is that it's about communicating with your fellow slaves. If you are trying to coordinate, say, around checkpoints, and they don't want you texting while you're driving. So now it's no texting while walking. So they give you these tools they can use against them, but they have to put these little fail safes on them, these little gadgets, in case the slaves do wake up and realize that they're slaves and they want to fight back, whatever, passively or peacefully. First time offenders would get a warning. It says the penalty, the biggest penalty is what, a pricey ticket, $250 for a third offense. And they said the younger people are the biggest offenders. Remember that article or story about an actual business that popped up outside a school? I think it was in New York too, or New Jersey, somewhere in the Northeast or New England area. And it was like a van, like an old hollowed-out ice cream truck, and they actually stored cell phones for when the students got out of school to come pick them up. A Florida high school student reportedly suspended after disarming gunmen. A 16-year-old Florida high school student says he was suspended for 3 days for wrestling a loaded gun away from a teen threatening to shoot. Now, so most people right away be like, "Oh, that's atrocious," but what they're not going to see is, like, when they look at their politicians, they say, "Oh, we're just going to vote them out, and they're not doing their job." Well, no, they are doing their job. They're selling you and your future generations out, right? For short-term political gain and financial gains. They're doing their job. The agenda moves forward. So it's like it's heartbreaking when I hear, like, my family members and that I love, and getting ready to retire and stuff like that, and they just one thing after another, one hit after another, and they can never get a break. But they say that, oh, they're not doing their job. No, they are doing their job, and they're doing their job here. The high school is because you don't let slaves carry out, their own actions, right, to protect other slaves. It's all liability, so you have to let the political law enforcement officers come in and do it. Or I hate to use this word, police themselves, right, because it has to do with being a sovereign. So he allegedly pointed the weapon at another student. He says, "I think he was really going to shoot him right then and there," says the student. According to the referral the student received the following day, he was suspended for his role in an incident where a weapon was present and given an emergency suspension. The boy's mother told Fox News that her son was suspended because he refused to cooperate with the investigation, adding that he was scared. Yeah, I would be too. I'd be scared of having to go to the police department and talk to these guys. I mean, who knows? They're going to try to convince you. We're going to cut you a deal. You only get so many days in probation or whatever, juvenile detention or public service, and you just admit to this or something. Maybe they take you in the back and part of the new militarized police state and torture you, downstairs or something like that to confess, for acting, basically taking part in a terrorist act. Popular standard shotgun could be banned under proposed bill. Popular hunting shotgun could be banned under one of the bills moving through the state capitol. A pump or semi-automatic shotgun is the guns most hunters use in Colorado. So it goes on. It's a gun that could be banned under a bill that's already passed in the House. So they're coming after a standard shotgun, says this one individual. So he points to a section of the bill that defines a high-capacity magazine as one capable of accepting or that can be readily converted to accepting more than 15 rounds or 8 shotgun shells. Oh yeah, just a correction. I said that that Vulcan machine gun or Gatling gun, 6,000 rounds per second. It's 6,000 rounds per minute. Whatever. It's mass death. So I just again. The point is that we're talking about high capacity magazines. Let's see, 6,000 rounds per minute, or maybe 500 to 1,000 rounds per minute. Most of those 1,000 rounders per minute are. Those are the sophisticated weapons, made in Israel and Belgium and stuff in the U.S., carried by military usually only. Joe Biden's shotgun advice could be illegal in Delaware, officials claim. So it says here during the Facebook town hall on Tuesday, this is a little while ago, this is from the 21st of February, Vice President Joe Biden may have inadvertently advised his wife to break the law when he recalled telling her to shoot a shotgun on the property in response to a potential threat. So it goes on to talk about just firing off shots, like warning shots. But it's against the law in Delaware. You have to be in fear of your life to use deadly force. You cannot use deadly force to protect your property. Real nice. I guess you're just going to sit there and wait for the biggest thieves who steal property and money, the police, to come protect you. Yeah. Homeowners take Biden's shotgun advice and get arrested. During the past few days and weeks, Biden has been passing out advice on how to use the shotgun. The problem is much of what he has advised is against the law. So they found this when this Trevor Snowden, when he fired a shotgun through the door, faced charges for reckless handling of a firearm. The 22-year-old fired through a door after seeing two masked men by a window of his residence to protect his property. In an interview, Field and Stream, Biden said one of the pluses of using a shotgun for home defense over an AR-15 is that you can just fire the shotgun through the door to keep people away from your house. The problem with this advice is that Snowden discovered is that using a shotgun in this manner is illegal. It reminds me of this article here that I saw. Most North Carolina gun deaths are from handguns, not assault weapons. In the wake of the gun massacres, President Obama has urged Congress to pass a series of gun control laws that include background checks for all gun sales and a ban on all assault-style weapons used in the shootings. But those measures in particular may have little effect on day-to-day gun crime in North Carolina, which overwhelmingly involves handguns, many sold and traded beyond even the beefed-up system of background checks envisioned in Washington. So maybe just ban them all, right? Obama DHS purchases 2,700 light armored tanks to go with their 1.6 billion bullet stockpile. So it says this is getting a little creepy. According to one estimate, since last year, the Department of Homeland Security has stockpiled more than 1.6 billion bullets, mainly 40 caliber and 9mm. Says the Department of Homeland Security through the U.S. Army Forces Command recently retrofitted 2,717 of these mine-resistant protected vehicles for service on the streets of the United States. DHS even released a video on their newly purchased MRAPs. So it's featured in this video. It was in Albuquerque, New Mexico for Law Enforcement Day, which was held at a local Target store. So what was that strange message over the weekend? Says thousands of people in the St. Louis area are talking about a strange message that popped up on their cell phone this weekend. It's about Amber Alert issued for a young girl missing from the Springfield, Missouri area. It's called a Wireless Emergency Alert System, and people here are wondering why it showed up on their phones. It says they're generated by a partnership between FEMA and the FCC and a number of cell phone providers, including AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon, rolled out last April, designed to increase public safety. Interesting, because I just heard a story about federal agents all around the area, in Chicago in particular, receiving these alerts for every time there's a shooting. And the guy was getting so sick of getting them, the agent, that he said, just notify me when it's police getting shot, or a Fed, right? DHS built domestic surveillance tech into Predator drones. Homeland Security specifications say drones must be able to detect whether a civilian is armed. Also specified signals interception and direct finding for electronic surveillance. Look how they say it. It's customized as Predator drones, originally built for overseas military operation. No, actually it was originally built for carrying out home surveillance tasks, but it was tested overseas. In Hollywood and Kansas, drones are flying under the radar. They hover over Hollywood film sets, professional sports events, inspect and monitor wildlife because they care about the wildlife. They locate marijuana fields to basically fund their illegal wars. And also, they spot illegal immigrants so that they can turn them all loose like they did just the other day. Commercially, the culture already exists, says this Colorado sheriff. Turn on your TV and play. In many cases, they're getting aerial shots using UAVs. And we'll just leave off here and return in part 3. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.